Now at 10, local 4-H members in Vernon County educate the community on various opportunities from the club. Plus, Pitt State holds an annual Writers Fest to honor 2 authors and their journey into writing. And the Spiva Center for the Arts educates arts and crafts enthusiasts on wood-burning charcuterie boards.
The 4 States' most watched news starts now.
Members of the Vernon County 4-H held a family expo today at the Vernon County Fairgrounds. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Noe. The purpose of the event was to educate the community on 4-H and the various opportunities that comes along with being a part of 4-H. The 4-H Council spoke to potential new members about leadership conferences, various trips and camps, and scholarships currently offered.
Today, this event is our big expo that we have every year, and it's to get kids involved and get out there and show them a taste of what 4-H is and what all that Vernon County has to offer. It can be anything from projects to trips to our shooting sports. There's just everybody can come here today and get a big show of everything that's going on.
So one of the main things I do with my rabbits is I take them to shows. There's all different types of rabbits you can bring, different breeds. It's simple yet not simple.
The event began at 3 this afternoon and wrapped up at 5. Pittsburgh State Writers Fest is back in town for the 2nd year. Today kicks off a week-long series of events centered around notable authors Juliet Patterson and Tracy Brimhall. KOAM's Jasmine Knight got to attend one of the events today and learn from Ms. Patterson.
Juliet Patterson's book, called Sinkhole, A Legacy of Suicide, sparked the Pittsburgh community when it hit the shelves. While touching on her family's history of suicide, Patterson focuses on the rich history of Pittsburgh and how it has evolved over time.
So when my father died, this door kind of swung open and I felt like I needed to come back to Pittsburgh and unearth that history. And the book is really an exploration of that. But in the process of doing all that, I really felt a deep interest in this place, and I ended up doing a lot of historical research as well.
During the writing process, Patterson searched any outlets to gain inspiration and knowledge, one place being Miners Hall Museum.
We felt it was real appropriate to have her here at the museum because this is where a lot of the history that she's talking about is centered.
Patterson's book, Sinkhole, received the 2023 Minnesota Book Award and was named one of the best memoirs of 2022 by the Library Journal.
The book has several layers. The book does talk about suicide and is a book meant to address an audience for those who have lost someone by suicide. But it also talks about a place and what it means to be rooted to a place or separated from a place.
Well, the book is beautifully written and very respectfully so.
Through PSU's Writers Fest, attendees can learn a multitude of topics. But for those who wish to read Ms. Patterson's story, here's what she wants the reader to take away.
And I hope it just gets them to reflect on their own ancestral line.
So if you're looking to check out some famous authors or poets from the 4 States area, check out PSU's Writers Fest. Reporting in Franklin, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
Writers Fest will continue until Friday, the 22nd. The Spiva Center for the Arts in Joplin today held a wood-burned charcuterie board event. Attendees were able to learn the art of pyrography from Roxanne Kendall, as well as burn designs into different styles of charcuterie boards to take home. The event was open from 2 to 4 p.m. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for a first look at weather.
All right, thank you very much. A lot of folks have been dealing with the allergies, specifically hay fever. Today was not that bad, moderate, 7.6. Tomorrow, just a little bit worse at 7.9, but still just below the moderate category. Ragweed and chenopod and nettle making up most of those pollens. We're going to see temperatures dropping from the 60s into the 50s tonight, about to 55 by morning. So if you're sending the kids out to school tomorrow morning, especially up to the north, you might want to send them with a light jacket with partly cloudy skies. And then as they head home from school, temperatures in the low 80s with mostly sunny conditions. And over the next few days, as we go down the lane, partly cloudy tomorrow, increasing rain chances as we go through the work week, a stormy midweek pattern, and an overall unsettled pattern. And I'll explain all that in Maine weather in just a little bit.
Thanks, Sam. After failing to agree to a new contract this weekend, the United Auto Workers Union went on strike. Auto workers in Wentzville, Missouri are racing to apply for strike pay, as Diamond Palmer reports.
United Auto Workers are continuing the fight for better pay, benefits, and working conditions one day at a time.
And we want to be able to afford to buy the cars that we build.
For 20 years, Pamela Mason has done back-breaking work at the GM plant in Wentzville. She serves on UAW's Local 2250 board as their financial secretary. Today, her duties look a little different. She's at the local hall registering people for their strike duties.
Today was a day that was set aside for us to have help to come in to mass register our membership.
Mason says the task of registering nearly 4,000 employees from the plant isn't easy. Strikers I talked to off camera said this morning lines were long, but buses kept rolling in this evening. If strikers don't register today, they risk delaying strike pay by 1 week.
Picking Wentzville turns the heat up tremendously.
Vandaris Simpson, former UAW Local 2250 president, has 40 years at the GM plant. He says the strike is strategic. Other locations include the Ford plant in Wayne, Michigan, and the Stellantis plant in Toledo, Ohio.
We don't hope that other plants strike. We hope that they'll come back to the bargaining table and this thing is as quickly as possible. No one wins when we go on strike.
When they give me back my pensions and in the tiers and give back my equitable fair share, then I'll retire. But for right now, I still have to fight for the rest of the people that can't fight for themselves.
Do you think it could take 40-something days again?
I sure hope not. I sure hope that they can sit down and come to some type of mutual agreement on what's fair and what's equitable for us. But I hope not. I don't want to see another 41-day strike.
The United Auto Workers strike could cost hundreds of millions early to the opposing sides. About 13,000 auto workers began their picketing Friday, showing up simultaneously outside plants of the big three automakers, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. The Anderson Economic Group says the national blow to the economy could be $5.6 billion. Coming up, we'll take a look at what President Biden plans to do about rising gas prices. Plus, how the Biden administration is taking part in the negotiations between automakers and striking workers. Pain at the pump isn't going anywhere. The White House has decided to not intervene as gas prices continue to rise. Senior aides met several times last week to discuss policy options before deciding against any action. But officials say the Biden administration will continue to watch trends to see if prices come down now that the peak summer travel season is over. As members of the United Auto Workers Union go on strike, President Biden says he directed his acting labor secretary and a White House advisor to help in negotiations. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
President Biden, who calls himself the most pro-union president in U.S. history, made his position clear.
Auto companies have seen record profits. But those record profits have not been shared fairly, in my view, with those workers.
But the potential fallout from a prolonged strike complicates the president's re-election message centered around the economy.
We're growing the economy.
Though a new poll shows 70% of Americans believe the economy is getting worse, not better, adding to the concerns a looming government shutdown if Congress doesn't reach a budget deal by the end of the month.
We're going to get this done. Nobody wins in a government shutdown.
Deadline drama that comes alongside a newly launched impeachment inquiry by House Republicans into President Biden and his family's business dealings.
We are following the money, and we will see where that leads us.
There is not a shred of evidence that President Biden committed an impeachable offense.
While House investigations so far have not yielded direct evidence of wrongdoing by the president, legal troubles are escalating for his son, Hunter Biden, indicted this week on felony gun charges. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
A little later, how one Springfield man is given a second chance at life after struggling from kidney failure.
And we have beautiful weather across the 4 states today. Is it going to last through the rest of the week? Well, I'll have the answer when we come back. A beautiful Sunday across the area with lots of sunshine, and it looks like it's going to be another nice day tomorrow. But first, let's take a look outside this morning at Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. And as we go through the morning, you see those altocumulus clouds rolling through, and then they broke up this afternoon, leaving us with bright blue skies and lots of sunshine, allowing temperatures to warm up into the 80s. In fact, we made it up to 83 after starting at a cool 54 degrees this morning, which was 5 degrees below the normal. And of course, we're way below normal on the rainfall for both the month and for the year. No rain on radar right now, but that's going to be changing over the next few days. Temperatures this evening are very pleasant though. 60 in Stockton, 58 already down in Cassville. But meanwhile, it's in the upper 60s still out to the west with 68 in Sedan and in Nowata, 63 for our friends in Chetopa. Dew points though are in the 30s and 40s, so lots of bone dry air out there. And with clear skies, that's going to allow the temperatures to drop quite significantly tonight. And we're going to see dew points in the 40s on Monday. But then as we go into Tuesday, we're going to see dew points in the 50s. And then Wednesday, we're going to see dew points in the 60s. So the moisture is going to be coming back. And as it does so, we're going to see rain chances increase. But for the next 36 hours, it's going to be pretty close to zero across the area. And that's because this ridge of high pressure is still in control. But we do have a storm system on the west coast that's going to make its way across the mountains. And as it comes out into the plains on Tuesday night and Wednesday, that's when the rain chances begin to increase. Then it's going to get cut off from the main upper level flow. And as a result, it's just going to sit and spin for the next several days. And that means we're going to have several days of unsettled weather. And with that, that means rain chances are going to be increasing and also over a longer period, but it's not going to be raining the whole time. But where it does rain, it could put down a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. In fact, some of the forecast models are forecasting an inch of rain by the time we go into Wednesday night. Both on the GFS model and the European model are both forecasting around half an inch, maybe an inch or so in some isolated spots. So hopefully that will verify, as we are definitely in a drought situation. Temperatures tonight are going to be in the lower 50s up to the north, mid 50s elsewhere on south winds. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy with highs in the low 80s to the east and mid 80s, maybe even some upper 80s out to the west. And then the clouds will start to increase as we go into Monday night and Tuesday morning with scattered showers with lows in the 60s. And then as we head into Tuesday afternoon, we'll see temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s with scattered showers and storms here and there. And then as we go into Wednesday morning, more scattered showers across the area with lows in the 60s. And then Wednesday afternoon, we're going to see more scattered storms with a high of around 76. And those scattered storms are going to be with us through all the rest of the week into early Saturday. I know it looks like a lot of rain on there, but notice the rain chances are low each and every single day, but at least temperatures are not going to be that bad. In fact, around seasonal or even slightly below.
It looks beautiful to me.
Yep,
Thanks,
me too.
Sam. A Springfield lawyer who's been struggling with kidney failure for years finally has a chance for a new lease on life through a kidney transplant from someone who's been right there all along. We want to warn you, this story contains images that some viewers may find disturbing. Joe Hickman explains.
It caused hemorrhaging in my nose, lungs, and the kidney.
For the last 17 years, Springfield lawyer Bob Grosser has been dealing with an incurable illness known as ANCA vasculitis, an autoimmune disease that attacks small blood vessels that, as you see here, can affect all parts of your body. In Bob's case, it caused kidney disease, and by 2020, he was on dialysis.
It's essentially 12 hours, starting at 6:30 at night, and I end at 6:30 in the morning.
Over the past 3 years, Bob has twice been set up to have a kidney transplant, only to have them fall through. One was with his son, but
I ended up having a stroke. I kind of decided at that point I wasn't going to use my son. Too risky. I don't know if there's any chance that it could transfer to him.
After the 2 failed transplant attempts, Bob decided that a deceased donor might be his only hope, until his wife Wendy stepped in.
He had kind of reached a low point as a wife, just watching him struggle all these years. It was just really hard, and so I called KU Med, I scheduled an appointment. Lo and behold, I was a direct match.
I figured there's no way she was going to be a direct match, right? I mean, I have a O negative blood, which is great for donating blood. It's lousy when you're having a kidney transplant.
The chances of a husband-wife match for a kidney transplant is 1 in 100,000, which is why the idea of considering Wendy as a donor didn't come up sooner.
I knew the odds of a spouse. I didn't even think about really having her check. It might sound silly.
But now this married couple of 32 years with 3 children, 1 grandchild, and another on the way, are hopefully headed to a new life together as they head to Kansas City this weekend for the operation. And while Wendy is taking a risk,
after watching him be tethered to basically a 17-foot tube, can't go past the couch in the evenings or whatever, just seeing life limited like that, that is no way to spend your days. And so I would encourage people, to be a donor, to, think about how you can help someone else.
If everything works great, it's the rest of my life.
Coming up in sports, we take a look at the MIAA football standings. Plus, the Kansas City Chiefs get into the win column for the first time this season. Brock Baldridge will have the highlights next in sports.
The Missouri Southern Lions and the Pittsburgh State Girls picked up a win on the road on Saturday. After 3 weeks of games, both of those teams find themselves at the top of the MIAA football standings. Let's take a look at the conference standings in the MIAA. At the very top is the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. They stay undefeated after their 1-point win over Central Missouri on Saturday. In second place, the only other undefeated MIAA school in the Emporia State Hornets, who are also 3-0. Then we have 4 teams in a 3-way tie for third place, as Central Missouri, Fort Hays State, and the Missouri Southern Lions and Missouri Western are all in third. Then the remainder of the standings goes Central Oklahoma, Nebraska Kearney, and one of the bigger surprises here is Northwest Missouri State. They are 1-2 on the season. The Kansas City Chiefs are back after suffering a Week 1 loss to the Detroit Lions. Well, Kansas City is looking to bounce back in the Sunshine State, facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chiefs at the Jags. Travis Kelce is active and ready to play. Second quarter, no score. The Jaguars are punting here, but it's Richie James who can't hang on to the ball. Jacksonville recovers it. Big miscue by the Chiefs there. The ball's going to bounce off of James's helmet. The Chiefs defense has to go back out in the field. Luckily for the Chiefs, they hold Jacksonville to a field goal. We head late to the second quarter now. It's 3-0 Jacksonville. Patrick Mahomes is going to find Sky Moore for the touchdown. 7-3 Chiefs lead. Kansas City goes into halftime with a low-scoring 7-6 lead. So in the third quarter, Mahomes is going to run around until he finds El Travador. Travis Kelce for the touchdown. Chiefs hang on to win an ugly game, but they get the job done. Chiefs beat the Jags 17-9 to prove a 1-1 on the season.
Really sucked it up, for lack of terms. It was hot and humid out there. I'm an offensive guy, but that was a beautiful thing defensively. And offensively, we got to take care of the penalties and the turnovers. But the battle through it shows me a little something. And so we'll get the other stuff fixed.
I mean, there was no doubt in my mind. It wasn't. It is what it is, man. I was out there flying around. I wish I could have helped my team out a little bit more than I did. But like I said, man, we came out of Jacksonville with a win, man.
Elsewhere in the NFL, Washington at Denver. In the fourth quarter, the Commanders lead 28-24. Brian Robinson is going to go to the house here. It's going to be a touchdown for the Washington Commanders as they lead 35-24. So no shot for a comeback for Denver, right? Well, you might want to think again. 3 seconds left in the game. Denver trails 35-27 on the 50-yard line. Russell Wilson with a desperation heave down the field. It's deflected, and it's caught. It's a Hail Mary touchdown catch. Brandon Johnson with the football in the end zone. Denver gets the score. Take a look at the replay. Unbelievable. Could this be another mile-high miracle? Well, just wait on that because we're not done yet. Denver has to go for 2 points since they trail 35-33. So now on the conversion try, Russell Wilson is going to fire this pass over to Cortland Sutton, and it is incomplete. No flags on the field, and Washington survives despite giving up the Hail Mary. The Commanders hang on to win this game, 35-33. Staying in the AFC West, the LA Chargers are on the road against the Tennessee Titans. During the Chiefs game, the Chargers lose yet another close game. They lose to the Titans 27-24 in overtime. Also, another surprising score during the Chiefs game. Baltimore Ravens are on the road going against the Cincinnati Bengals during their home opener. 27-24, Ravens win it. Cincinnati is now 0-2 on the season. Usually the St. Louis Cardinals are looking to become postseason bound around this time of the year, but this year it might not be the case. However, the Cardinals are still evaluating young talent on the team. Cardinals versus Phillies at Busch Stadium. Tied game in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-3 score. Paul Goldschmidt with a deep fly ball, and he's going to get just enough of it. Solo home run. Cards lead it 4-3. At the top of the 8th inning now. 5-3 St. Louis. Alec Boehm is going to take a trip to Big Mac land here. Upper tank, solo bomb. The Phillies are now within 1 run as they trail 5-4. Now we go tied entering the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-5 game. Rookie Jordan Walker at the plate. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Solo home run, and that was the difference in the ball game. Cardinals beat the Phillies 6-5. Kansas City is home looking for the sweep against the Houston Astros. Fortunately for the Royals, that's not going to happen as they lose to Houston 7-1. I'll be looking for sports. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
Final look at the week ahead.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a wet week ahead. Tomorrow, though, partly cloudy and high of 85. Then the showers and storms begin on Tuesday all the way through Saturday, but it's not going to be raining the whole entire time. Just chances of scattered showers and storms each and every day.
Well, we need the rain.
Yep.
Quick sports note.
Yeah, Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos all lose, so we're all tied up again in the AFC West between the Chiefs and Raiders, and I think the Chiefs, they might come out on top. Who knows?
Who knows? It might, with Travis Kelce, you
never know.
Back on the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.